Hello, welcome back to my channel, The Teacher Treasure Chest. My name is Nancy, and today I want to go over my top sales for October, a few of them, not all of them. I want to show you my October sales, and this has been my most profitable month so far in my reselling journey. So, my goal this month and every month is to make at least $2,000 net profit. And today I went over that. And for October, I went over it. And what was so amazing is I think that in November it's going to be even better. So as I've been reselling for many years, I started this in 2018 while I was still teaching school, and my goal have steadily increased. I can remember, I don't know what year it was, my goal was to make $500 a month, while I was still teaching. And then it increased to $1,000 a month. While I was still teaching. And then I retired 2 years ago in 2022, May of 2022. And now I do this full time. Then my goal became to make $2,000 a month net profit. And I went over that this month, which is very exciting. So my goals have increased. If I ever get to 3,000, I would just be astounded. And hopefully I can do that sometime. My goals, my sales have increased because as I go along, I get better at what I'm sourcing. I get better at what I'm picking up. I don't pick up junk, that kind of thing. I get better at comping items that I pick up, and I don't just pick up everything, even if it's $1. So let's talk about my spreadsheet. Now, so I sold 201 items and I made $2,515 net profit. That's after fees, cost of goods, taxes, shipping, etc. I color code my items in this column of items that I made a profit over $20. So, my goal is to not make $6 profit like over here, $5 profit. So my goal is to make more money per sale. Then over here, I look at what brands are selling, what brands took a long time to sell, etc. I also started using My Reseller Genie, and I'm learning about this software application because it is new to me and it's a learning experience. So my goal is to not have to do the spreadsheet because this spreadsheet takes hours. I have to first cut and paste all of this data from My Reseller Genie into the item description. Then I have to cut and paste the platform. So I don't have to manually type this in. I just cut and paste it. I cut and paste the date. I can cut and paste the gross sale right here. The eBay fees I can cut and paste. Sales tax I can cut and paste. The promoted listing fees I can cut and paste. The shipping costs though I cannot, because what I pay in shipping is different than what the buyer pays. So I have to manually input all of the shipping cost in 200 items. It takes a long time. The cost of item, I have to manually input that. So that takes a lot of time. So, that's where I said, let's try out My Reseller Genie and see if I can figure this out, because this is new for me, and I'm learning as I go. So it's different in My Reseller Genie. This is my profit and loss statement for October. They say my gross profit was $2,600. So this right here, I need to figure out, like, these numbers don't match up my spreadsheet, and that's where I have to figure out how far off I am, or maybe I'm doing something wrong with the software program. Because they include other things like estimated income tax. They include my travel expenses, which is going to be my gas. I deduct my gas. I deduct my meals when I'm outsourcing. Subscription dues, which is my eBay store fees. I use Canva. And now I can deduct the My Reseller Genie fees. So that will be an expense. I'm not sure what the equipment was. I'm not really sure what $35 equipment, but this Ask Accountant is pretty much miscellaneous something. I need to go back and check that. So here we have the gross profit. It's saying, I just don't totally understand this. I know it's deducting my shipping fees, my transaction fees from eBay, my promoted listing, my inventory purchases. It's keeping track of that. So I will have to learn more about this as I go and learn from others. And yeah. So, anyway, so let's jump into my highest sales that I made this month. My first highest sale was this LL Bean coat, and it was from the Goodwill bins. It was in pristine condition. It was 85% wool. It also had a velvet velour suede collar and trim. So that cost $1.57, and the buyer paid $125 plus shipping for $132.44. I did have the promoted listing fees, and it sold with my coupon. I always have a coupon going from month to month for 15% off, and sometimes people use it and sometimes they don't. I'm not quite sure why they don't use it, but sometimes they don't. All right, the next item I sold was also from the Goodwill bins. This is a Vince wool cashmere sweater cardigan. It was in pristine condition and very soft. It was a very nice sweater, and it cost $2, and the buyer paid $76 plus shipping. The next item I sold was this Pendleton coat. This was also from the Goodwill bins. It actually had moth holes in it in 2 places, and it still sold for $50 plus shipping. I paid $1.25 for this coat. So that was a good flip. Then next we have a J. Crew pea coat. It was in excellent condition. It was wool, it was J. Crew, and it was a pea coat. So all those factors helped it sell for $43.19, and I paid $4 for it. Then next we have this Levi's jacket. It was a unique piece because it had a distress factor, and I think it made it a little bit different than others. I don't know, but it was almost like it was like an acid washed fabric. But any kind of Levi's denim jacket, I would pick it up. This item was $2.12, and it sold for $40.50 plus shipping. Next we have a London fog trench coat. This was a great pickup, not only because it was a trench coat, but because it is pink. And it sold pretty quick. I pick up trench coats if they're in great condition, especially from the Goodwill bins. Sometimes they're really heavy, but they typically sell pretty well. So that was a sale of $39.20 plus shipping, and I paid $5 from the Salvation Army on 50% off day. Next we have a J. Crew cardigan. And this was a wool piece, I believe. No, it was cotton. It was cotton. It was just an open front and great condition. There was no flaws in it, and it sold for $33.15. I paid $3.83 from Helpsy. I buy a lot of items from Helpsy, at least one box a month from Helpsy I buy, and that helps me supplement the stuff I get from the bins. So I'm not totally dependent on the bins and thrift stores. The next thing I found at the Goodwill bins was these vintage looking boots. They were Italian, which that was a factor going for them. They were leather Italian boots made in Italy, and they had some unique buttons, and they're by Joan and David. And the buyer paid $29 plus shipping, and I paid $1 for them. Next we have a Ralph Lauren vest. This came from the Goodwill bins. It was unique in that it had all these really cool gold buttons on it, and it also had a suede collar on it. So I grabbed that one right away, and I put biker in it, and I think that might have helped it sell. I'm not sure, but it sold for $30.60, and I paid $1.57 for it. And next we have another item from the Goodwill bins. It's a Peter Millar golfing vest. It had a little bit of wear, but it still had a lot of interest in this vest. Not all Peter Millar items sell that great, fast, but any substantial pieces like vests or coats or things like that, I would look up sweaters. The button-up shirts, they're a little more saturated, but items that are unique like this golfing vest, there was a lot of interest in. So that sold for $28 plus shipping, and I paid $1.50. I probably could have gotten more money for it, but sometimes I just want to, move things out quickly so I can reinvest my money. And I still turned $1.50 into $28, so it's not too bad, plus shipping. All right, next I wanted to show you these UGG boots. These UGG boots were worn pretty much heavily. I cleaned them up and they had like a gold shimmer to them, and they still sold pretty fast. And I pick up UGG boots, especially if they're in, not caked with mud or something. And they were $1.34 at the Goodwill bins, and they sold for $31.20. The last item I want to show you is this Dalton Vintage cashmere sweater. It sold for $36. I paid $1.25 for it. It took a little bit of time to sell, but it was unique and there was not that many. It was a one-of kind of thing, and it was very vintage. You see that tag, it looks very vintage. Don't believe it had any holes. You see the tag, it looks really old, Union made. Yeah, so that was called the Dalton Vintage sweater. So yeah, those are the items that I sold, and the top ones. I have many more sales in October, but those are the most significant ones. And so tell me about your sales and how did you do, and I hope y'all are making lots of good sales in the fourth quarter. Sales seem to be up for me. I'm selling a lot of winter goods and winter sweaters, winter coats I pick up, and it keeps keeping me very busy. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.